Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Reema Tendulkar. With me is Sonal Bhutra, and these are the top stories at 1:30 p.m. The markets off the session low but firmly in the red ahead of the US inflation data and the FOMC meet next week. Even as investors turn upbeat on China, tech is the big drag, while FMCG and capital goods see some green.
Paytm informed stock exchanges that its board will meet on December 13 to consider a buyback. The proposed move after the stock declines to a fourth of its IPO price sparks a big debate.
Mishra Dhatu Nigam slips despite a positive outlook. The management tells CNBC-TV18 it expects additional order inflows of 700 crore rupees in FY23 and sees export revenues increasing to 15% of the total going forward.
Symphony's management tells CNBC-TV18 it is witnessing some pressure in the US business and order cancellations. Stock slides after the company says this will impact the December to March quarter.
OMCs take a hit as crude slides. Brent is trading at $77 per barrel. Petrol inventory builds up in the US adds to the pressure.
All right, those are the top headlines that we are tracking for you on Midcap Radar. Markets under a lot of pressure. Nifty is down 120 points. We have the Bank Nifty, which has also slipped into the red. That one is down 50 points. It has recovered a tad bit from the lows, but still it has crossed that crucial level of 18,500 on the Nifty, below the 20-day moving average as well right now, or actually just at the 50-day moving average. As I said, banking names, they are putting some pressure. IT definitely is the big drag today. Even in the broader markets, we were seeing some green shoots, but that index too is down 150 points right now. And a lot of global cues is something that the market is awaiting. So we have, of course, the inflation data, the FOMC meet outcome that is expected next week. All these factors keeping markets at the edge, on the edge that is, and yes, some nervousness, and specifically for the IT space, Reema. Everyone was talking about growth concerns, but today HCL Tech has confirmed a tad bit of it. They are of the view that yes, there will be growth, but on the lower end.
You know, indeed, and that's the big drag, right? The Nifty IT is seeing its biggest intraday fall in 3 months now, 3% down. For the year so far, it's down 24%. And this would mean that this is the worst annual performance for the Nifty IT index since 2008. So we're going back 14 years. In 2008, we remember, was the big Lehman crisis. But bear in mind that this downbeat performance of Indian IT, currently tracking 24% lower, comes on the back of two strong years. In 2020 and in 2021, the Nifty IT index was up more than about 50-odd%. So some of that froth is still getting corrected, and now you are getting somber news, negative news about growth concerns as we step into the Q3 earnings season in January. But we'll talk more about it, the implications for the rest of the pack as well. For now, let's invite Vivek. He's going to tell us about the mid-cap movers today. Vivek?
Well, good afternoon. Couple of stocks on the radar, some of them have hit fresh 52-week high in today's trading session. We look at those first. So first on our list is the twins of JMC projects as well as Kalpataru. We'll talk a little bit more about it a little later in the show. MK has come out with a note where they've upgraded the target price. We're looking at Gravita as well as Shalby today. Both of them have hit a fresh 52-week high. In fact, Shalby is up for consecutive trading sessions and moving on strong volumes as well. Moving on, it's been a mixed trending day as far as the banking pack is concerned. There are select banks today that have moved quite well, while others are seeing profit booking. But some of the financials, JS Bank up on strong volumes today on back of news flow, at a fresh 52-week high. Bank of Baroda as well as Punjab and Sind Bank today all at a fresh 52-week high. Moving on to some of the stocks that are today trading on strong volumes. Jubilant Pharma today after a while seen very strong up move. Poonawalla FinCorp, Delivery after the bunch of block deals that happened today in today's trading session moving up, and New India Assurance after a long time is surging in today's trading session. On the other hand, some of the stocks, most of them are seeing profit booking after a prolonged period of up move. So J&K Bank, Bank of India, JTEKT, this auto has seen a very sharp up move, and today is seeing a bit of profit booking. And fertilizer, the entire pack was moving in very strong volumes in the last couple of trading sessions. Today, fact is seeing a bit of profit booking.
Okay, many stocks in focus today. Vivek, thank you so much for that list. It's time to get a technical check on the markets. Let's welcome Himain Kapadia of KR Choksey Securities for just that. Himain, good afternoon. Thanks a lot for joining us. Well, the sharp fall is what we've seen, at least in the broader markets. Mid-cap index, banking too, which was actually an outperformer, has slipped deep in the red, down 60 points. What is the chart for Nifty at least suggesting? More downside from these levels?
Very good afternoon to you, Sonal. Thank you for having me. Well, frankly speaking, we should have been in a corrective phase a lot earlier and a lot more deeper. We've had a phenomenal run and somehow we haven't retraced much. We've taken time but not too much of price. And the Bank Nifty, it has actually moved sideways and corrected rather than going down. So a lot of relative strength going in. The mechanical indicators were shaky as far as the Nifty is concerned. Some of them came a crossover sell. Nifty still didn't go down. And finally now it's sort of falling in line. So frankly speaking, we've had a brilliant run up. They look stretched, overbought, tired, and the Nifty's sort of walked into a little bit of a corrective phase. The bigger picture hasn't changed, but for the time being, yes. And we've seen it go 120 points, but the VIX is still significantly below 14. If you were to expect a 200-300 or maybe a 300-400 point Nifty fall in a day, I think the VIX has to go to 17 or 18. Before that, that doesn't look like happening. So frankly speaking, the markets are just tired. Stock specific, some of the mid-cap started moving, and yeah, we are in a cool off which could take a few more days to sort of pan out. And so many stocks like Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank haven't posted new highs, haven't given breakouts, so I guess that is taking its toll on the Bank Nifty.
Hemant, afternoon. What about the other stocks that you would recommend for trade? Things are getting a bit uncertain and volatile now. At 11 o'clock when I was checking the contribution, it was all IT. IT was single-handedly resulting in the fall that we were seeing on the benchmark indices. But now other stocks, other sectors have also started sliding down. Reliance Industries, for instance, is down close to about 1%. Is there any trade that you would recommend on individual names?
Well, frankly speaking, Rima, you hit the nail on the head. It is dicey, and Reliance didn't need to slip so much. But yeah, and that has taken its toll along with IT. But yeah, a couple of stocks do stand out. Firstly, I have a buy call on Voltas. Voltas oversold, positive divergence, bottom formation in place. So it's a contra buy call, Rima. Buy Voltas at 835, stop loss 820, target 865. Secondly, it's a sell call on Hindustan Aeronautics, HAL. A small rounding top sort of a pattern has happened. There is a distribution going on. The breakdown hasn't yet happened, but the negative divergence shown by the mechanical indicators and the crossover sells seem to indicate that we are ripe for a correction. It may not be a trend reversal yet, but yeah, it's ripe for a correction. So sell HAL at 2730. Stop loss 2770, target 2650.
All right, Hemant, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through the technicals of the markets, individual technical picks as well. Have a great weekend ahead. And for now, we'll slip into a break. On the other side, in our special segment, Midcap Spotlight, Vivek will focus on Kalpataru Power. Welcome back. You're still tuned into Midcap Radar on CNBC-TV18, and this is our special segment, Midcap Spotlight. Vivek is focusing on Kalpataru Power on the back of a bullish commentary from MK Global. Vivek, tell us more.
Well, good afternoon. That's right. We had highlighted both Kalpataru Power and JMC a little earlier. So MK has come out with a note, and what they've done is, number one, they've retained their buy call and they've increased the target price as well. But what they've actually done is they've gone and done a deep dive on, Kalpataru Power as well as, typically the kind of discount that this particular company was suffering in comparison to its peers, and the reasons behind that and what's actually changed now. So what they've said is that this particular company has always traded at a discount to KEC International. They're saying the discounts was mainly due to concerns that the market had in terms of the capital allocation policies and especially its investments in the roads as well as the transmission sector and other non-core investments as well. So now, however, what's happening? Number one, company's merger with JMC Projects is underway and is on track. Other than that, they're also saying that no more investments are happening as far as non-core assets are concerned, and also the promoter pledge is gradually expected to go lower. So what they're saying, going forward, the valuation gap that the company is currently suffering from should go down when you're comparing it to its peers, and they're saying at this point of time, they've gone ahead and valued the standalone entity at 15 times one-year forward price to earnings versus 13.5 times earlier. Standalone order inflows too are quite strong. So, robust order book is something that the company is enjoying at this point of time. And they're saying going forward, the earnings will improve from the strong order book that the company has. And also, the margin should improve on the back of softer commodity prices. On the back of that, you're seeing both Kalpataru Power as well as JMC projects surging in today's trading session.
Thank you very much for that. Let's talk about Bajaj Consumer, where the board has approved an 81 crore buyback. Why the open market route? Surbhi is here with the details. Surbhi?
Hi, thanks for that. Bajaj Consumer Care is in focus today, and that is because the board has approved the buyback, which is going to be via open market. The buyback size is 81 crores. The maximum buyback price is going to be 240 rupees per share, and which is going to be 2.2% of the total equity, which comes to close to 34 lakh shares. Now, the cash on the books of Bajaj Consumer is 627 crores. Promoters are not likely to be participating in this buyback, and that is why the likely acceptance ratio, excluding the promoter holding, is close to 3.7%. Interestingly, in the last shareholding disclosure, the domestic institutional investors have increased 4.5% stake in the company, and FII stake has decreased by 2.7% in the company.
Okay, Bajaj Consumer Care is in focus today, so we thank you all for those details. But we are going to be talking about telecom sector. Jefferies is expecting tariff hikes across the telecom industry in Q4. Reema, what are the key takeaways from this report?
Well, it's quite interesting. So first they're saying that Q2 revenues for the telecom industry were a record level, like 17% growth for the telecom majors. But this revenue growth was only driven by an ARPU increase of 14%. So your top line growth is a function of your price increase and your volumes, right? Volumes in this case are the number of subscribers that you would be adding. Now, because the telecom industry took price hikes in December last year, there's still that flow through because it depends when you have to charge your next pack, right? So that ARPU flows through quarter after quarter slowly. So they're saying in Q2 that top line growth of 17% was driven roughly 14% on account of ARPUs, and now ARPUs are at a decade high of 182. But the active subscriber increase was only 2%. Because Jio added a lot of subscribers, but Vodafone Idea lost. So net, the active increase in subscriber was very low at 2%. So they're saying that growth in the industry revenues from here on is going to be a function on tariff hike. It's not happening on account of subscriber increases. Because, even though some like Bharti and Jio are gaining, it's coming at the expense of Vodafone Idea losing. So a lot depends on tariff hikes. So, they're trying to underscore the importance of why the industry needs to take tariff hikes, because only when you take the tariff hike, increase the pricing, will the revenues go up. They're now expecting another tariff hike in Q4 of FY23, that's the Jan to March quarter, and after that they're saying expect one in Q4 of FY24 as well as FY25. The reason I'm just highlighting this is because the industry has found it difficult to take annual price hikes, right, up until now. There was one in December of 2019, then there was one in December of 2021 after a gap of 2 years. We have not yet seen a price hike, right? 1 year has passed. So let's see whether the Q4 price hike comes and thereafter whether it continues to be an annual affair. But just, highlighting the importance of tariff hikes for the industry.
Yes, interesting note. Thank you for highlighting that for us, Reema. The stocks are in focus as well, but both Bharti Airtel and Reliance Industries at the day's low today. The market in that condition as well. For now, we'll slip into a break. On the other side, we'll put focus on Yes Bank as it has received RBI nod for proposed fundraise. Stay tuned.
Yes Bank has gotten the RBI final nod for a capital raise from Carlyle and Advent International. Abhishek is here with the details. Abhishek?
Well, Rima, as you mentioned, Yes Bank has received the final approval to raise capital both from Carlyle as well as Advent International. Now, the fundraise will be via equity and warrants. This has already been announced in July by the management. So, equity raise is about close to 5,100 crores, and by warrants, they are looking to raise a little more than 3,800 crores. So, the good part about this fundraise is that the tier 1 capital that can strengthen by 373 basis points to 15.23% when compared to 11.5% at the end of Q2 FY23, and the net worth will increase by close to 26% to a little more than 43,300 odd crores. So the not so good part about this fundraise is that the equity dilution is massive, about 25%, and the book value per share increases by a mere 0.7% to 13.83 when compared to 13.74 that they had at the end of Q2 FY23. Back to you.
All right, that is about Yes Bank. The stock is up 13% in trade today. Let's move on and get in some management commentary. We spoke to a whole host of mid-cap companies since the start of the trading session. Let's start with Symphony. The management told CNBC-TV18 that they are witnessing some pressure in the US market and some orders have been cancelled, while Mishra Dhatu Nigam's management is confident that exports will contribute as much as 15% to their total revenues going forward, which is at 10% right now. Let's listen into both the managements talk about their business momentum.
As of now, we are witnessing some pressure, especially from United States. As you may be aware, in US we have a large business, and there some of the orders and demand has been cut. So that will be reflected in our December quarter partly, and also in March quarter in particular.
The order book position, the defense will be on the higher side this year. But the space also, I am expecting that now the launches are going one after another. The space also, I am expecting some addition by end of this financial year. So whatever I have told about the 700 crores around the order book, which I am expecting to get, in that space also will be around 100 to 200 crores order from space also. Right now, we have around 10% of our sales we are getting from export. It was in the last year. Subsequently, our target is to go to beyond, almost going beyond 15% of our total turnover.
Okay, by the way, there's some error. The management was that of Mishra Dhatu, but what you saw, the adjoining statements next to that were being flashed were of Symphony, but that was Mishra Dhatu management talking about. But by the way, Symphony, a stock which is down close to about 1.5–2% in trade, the management said that in US things are slowing down, some orders have been cancelled. He refused to give us a number, but he did say it's sizable and it's going to have an impact in the December as well as March quarter. Remember, exports are about 40% of Symphony's revenues, so this is fairly significant, and the word management use is that it's sizable in terms of order cancellation or delay that he was talking about. For the Nifty, it's 18,480, which means we're trading just a smidge below that 20-day moving average, which is 18,488. So we're just trading shy of that. We've not breached it decisively, but we are hovering on the lower side over there. So quite weak. Down close to about 0.7%. With that, we're going to be out of time on Midcap Radar. Your stocks when we return.